almost double the $14.5 million spent on the women's tournament. But the men's tournament generated a net income of more than $860 million in 2019, while the women's tournament lost $2.8 million. That's the biggest deficit of any NCAA championship. In a statement, the NCAA CFO said in part, quote, "The difference in the budgets is because of the scale of the two tournaments and the nuances in the delivery, which tend to be committee decisions," unquote. On Thursday, the NCAA hired a private law firm to review gender equity across all sports, and initial findings could come as soon as next month. Now, to action on the court, where...
All right. Hello, the one person sitting there watching me press buttons. I've got to get this thing charging. It's not going to work.
Oh no, look at my pink towel. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this thing off.
It was a strip show. Okay, well, maybe I'll just have to charge this after the damn show. Hello.
It's like I barely have any hair left.
At least you didn't have dreads.
No, I didn't have dreads, but after I had Sasha, my hair started thinning, and it wasn't a big deal at first because I had way too much hair and I welcomed it, but now it's too thin. But really nothing I can do about it.
Hello, Forever Seeking Wisdom. Hello, Deborah. Whoever else is here. We're still doing the Stay the Fucking Home show on YouTube for, I guess, another 6 days or so. Because I'm in Facebook Live jail. So that's also why I haven't been popping up doing lives all over Facebook, like usual.
And you also, oh, my hair looks cute.
Yeah.
You also, you're getting your second shot today.
Give me a second shot today.
That's the big news this
Yeah.
afternoon.
Hey, Jane.
So we're gonna take it more easy than usual. I mean, we're not expecting problems, but you just might want to take a long nap or something like
Yeah.
that. So, and I will allow it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I always, nap whether you like it or not. But I'm usually right next to you.
Because I allow it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then you just kind of go, that's your nap. You just kind of nod off. So, yeah, so we're not going to do the Zoom party tonight. We'll probably do it next week. We'll miss those people, but
Just to make
just
sure.
in case, because the other people have been really fatigued after the second shot.
Like I said, we're
I
not
wanna
worried
pass
about
out.
it at all. I mean, I just had I told my aunt when I got my first shot, and it was, I guess, over a week ago. She's in California, in Los Angeles, and she just texted me yesterday. She's like, even though I already told her after the shot that I felt fine, but she asked me again. She's like, "How did you feel after your first shot?" And I'm like, I felt the same as I felt before the vaccine. And I said, Mike is getting his second one. So I think she's a Trump supporter and she's in LA. So I think those people might be slowly coming around, but I'm the only person in the family who's taken it because they're all Trumpers, even though Trump's also taken it, but whatever. So yeah, I think the fact that she asked me later a second time means that she's thinking about it.
They,
Especially because they're doing studies. They haven't definitively come out with anything, but they're doing studies. They're saying that vaccinated people also would be, which I hope is true, less likely to transmit it. Because the reason they want everybody to wear masks after they get vaccinated is because they were saying vaccinated people can still carry it and transmit it to an unvaccinated person. So that was kind of the problem. But I think they're seeing more and more that vaccinated people are also less likely. I don't know if the number is 0, but at least less likely to transmit it. Which is great.
So they just, they had a thing, this woman's protecting herself from the evil eye on CNN.
Yeah.
They just had a thing, Biden turned, he calls it disgusting what they're doing in Georgia, and he's handed it over to the Department of Justice. Now, while states do have a certain amount of rights with regard to voting laws, if it can be shown that those laws are for the purpose of discrimination, well, then the Fed can step in and fuck your shit up.
Yeah. I mean, you never found the source, so we don't I don't know if it's true or not, but he told me this morning, like, we know about them, people not being allowed to bring them water. I think we've all
You
heard
know,
about
I
that,
looked
but-
that one up, and all I found was that people were not allowed to give them snacks. So
Oh.
there was not a thing about them not being able to bring their own
Okay,
snacks.
that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
So
Still,
this is why you need precise information, because
Mm-hmm.
he told me that, and I was like, well, show me where you read that. And he didn't read that.
so it's like if you're there with snacks, you've got to prove somebody didn't give them to you. I don't know.
No, I think it's if they
So
catch somebody,
Yeah.
walk up to somebody in line and give them a snack.
yeah, and so they're also gone out of their way to remove mail-in voting, absentee voting, all that kind of stuff to make there be really really long lines.
And the other thing is they want to have fewer, because there's a lot of ballot boxes where you could just walk up and like turn in your ballot that way. And I don't know that they're allowed to get rid of them altogether, but they're taking most of them away and they're having fewer, which means the lines to vote are going to be longer. If you don't have those alternatives, it's going to be a longer line to vote. And so now you can't have water or snacks. I mean, I think you can still bring your own, but apparently it's a misdemeanor if
Well-
somebody gives you a bottle of water.
The Republicans in Georgia, from my tally, the majority of them are fat, backwards ass rednecks. You think they're gonna be standing in line all fucking day, and without snacks and shit? It isn't just black people that are going to have to stand in these long lines. I
Yeah.
don't think they realize that. They've made it so everybody's
I
gonna
think they're
stand in
gonna
a
try
really
to turn
long
it into
line.
like a tailgating thing, or like
Yeah.
bring a cooler on wheels that they're gonna sit on while they're waiting in line.
Yeah, they will.
And then have like,
Black people
Probably
stand in
gonna-
line and all get together and like sing gospel hymns and shit. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They will wait. They will make this a political, spiritual act to stand in fucking line. And I'm sure there's all kind of people gonna get their money together and bus people to the polls and all that kind of shit. And then the Republicans will bitch about that. Busloads of them showed up. It's like, well, yeah, that's because you tried to make them have to go too far to vote. So
and the thing
LeBron
is,
James paid
like,
for a
if
bus.
they like really want to argue that, because I know every time I voted, I've never voted absentee. I've always voted in person. I always have to show my ID, always. But I think they're focusing on absentee ballots, people not showing their IDs. What's wrong with just sending a photocopy of your driver's license along with your ballot?
Hey, there's something.
What?
Baseball never gets involved in this shit. The MLB Players Association says the union's ready to discuss pulling out of the 2021 All-Star Game because of the Georgia
rule.
voter suppression bill.
Yeah.
That's we need to get the baseball people getting political, man.
Yeah,
Serious.
baseball and hockey, they never really.
I mean, really, in
get
all of our
involved.
sports, it's always black people are the best at it. People tend to they don't think about that in baseball. It's like the best players we had were black. But yeah, we never known them to kneel at the national anthem
So
or any
many
of that
tangles.
shit. So many tangles.
Look at this shit.
Oh my God. Yeah. Almost, it's true. That one right there was trying to be a dread.
Yeah.
It's like hiding
My
under
hair
layers
really
of
wants
hair.
to dread. When I was little, before I even knew what dreads were, when I'd go to get my hair cut, they'd always find a dread like in the bottom, like close to my neck. They'd be like, "What is this?" And just kind of comb it out. Ow. My hair really wants to dread. What?
No, I'm just trying to read with all these people. Remember anything about the stimulus for people on SSI? I hear that most of the checks went out.
No.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay.
he doesn't know.
No.
What I heard is the people who receive SSI, their checks are getting delayed because there's like, they have to follow protocol for all that stuff. And there's some paperwork from a department that's actually still headed by Trump appointees. And they have it submitted, the paperwork that they have to submit to the Social Security office. Those are getting delayed. So if you receive, if you receive Social Security, it's getting delayed because this company didn't hand over their necessary paperwork to the Social Security company. and I don't know
Yeah.
how they can make it. And it's a Trump-appointed office still.
So
Just putting it out there.
King Gad Tut, I hope that's a joke, because that's, you know, with all the arguments about cultural appropriation and everything that happen out there on the internet, the idea that black people own dreads is fucking ridiculous. Dreads is what happens when you don't wash your hair for long enough or you don't fucking brush it. Pirates had dreads all the time. The ocean air really gives you fucking dreads.
I don't even want dreads, but I get them.
Dreads just happen. I mean, maybe dreads as a fashion statement's a black thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it just happens. So I always get really amused at that when people get so bent out of shape of, you're stealing my culture. It's like, you don't even have dreads, fuck you. And even if, would it be like Jamaican culture? I'd say the ones most known for dreads.
I think so.
So is it okay for black people to borrow from other black cultures?
I'm not
I don't
going
know
to
how
talk
that
about
works.
race here as a white person, but you can just talk.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
I'm not going to try and figure it out because it's none of my
There's
business.
that. Roy Cooper. So they said that we just set a record for shots in arms yesterday. I would
What,
think
Louisiana or
no,
the
no,
country?
the country. And I would think we're setting records every day now because we.
Well,
try and do more every
I
day.
saw something like 2 or 3 days ago, so it's not totally current. But a couple days ago, here, it's on my phone. I want to give you guys the exact number. I took a screenshot of it, but I'm always talking about this. New Orleans, especially, is really, really kicking butt. So a couple days ago, I think it was on, today's Saturday, Friday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. So I got this text from NOLA Ready. There are 4 new COVID cases and no new deaths, which is like just crazy. It's always at least in the 2 digits, if not 3, 4. But then it says 32.1% of NOLA residents have received their first COVID vaccine. 32%, and that's from 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like really ramping it up, and they've got these like huge, like the convention center that, you know, they've turned it into like a huge vaccine center, and it's like super well organized. I just went to a regular pharmacy, but he went some like at a hospital where it's like a mass vaccination
It's like a
site.
drive-through.
And you said it was pretty organized too? I mean,
Yeah.
once they found your stuff?
Yeah, that's where I'm going today. It sounded like
Yeah.
it was a different place, but I just looked it up.
Okay.
So-
And you have your card, because they won't.
I got my card. I got my confirmation on my phone. I
Okay.
even have the check-in number still in the card because they didn't
Yeah.
collect my paperwork last time.
And I think all you need really though is regardless of what's on your phone, if you have the card, that's all you need.
Yep, yep.
And I kept it, I even have my ID in that, I didn't even take my ID out, I usually keep it somewhere else. But I took it out to bring with me to the vaccine place, put it in my purse, and it's still in there. So my ID and the card that they gave me, so I have to look for it. Although I have no idea when my next appointment is. That's the problem with Moderna. It's more flexible. First of all, well, it's a minimum of 4 weeks, whereas Pfizer's 3. But also, it can be done between 28 days and 45 days. So I might not get my second shot in a while. But I'm going to try to call them after it's been
Yeah.
28 days. They're supposed to call me, but I don't care. I'll call
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
And hopefully they'll be able to give me an appointment.
Yeah, well,
Well,
waiting
now-
for them to call you didn't work until you finally got appointments, and then they started throwing appointments at you.
Yep. And I was just gonna.
You got 20. It might be after 28 days. You got to call them.
Yeah, I'm gonna call them. I was saying Louisiana is starting Monday. They're opening it up to anybody over age 16. You don't have to have health conditions or like any of that. They're just anybody over 16, which to me says that they're really gonna ramp up the number of vaccines. So I shouldn't have a problem doing it right after 28 days if they're gonna be like so flush with vaccines, unless they're just
Yeah.
too busy to give me my second vaccine.
Yeah, Jen. See, they made an appointment for me right away, but
Yeah.
they didn't do that for Marta. They do it for everybody else that I've talked to. But yeah, so she's got to like get on.
Well,
that.
everybody who I know who's had Pfizer, they all get the appointment right away, but I don't know that Moderna people do.
Oh, maybe it's.
Well, because our neighbor said the same. Well, she went to the same pharmacy. She's like, yeah, it's 20 to 45 days. We're like,
By the way, Jane says your hair looks great.
oh, thanks. I'm trying to get the random dreads out from underneath.
And I'm trending on TikTok, man. I keep getting notifications over here. It's been like all night long, man. We go like we go out to smoke and get 100 new followers. We go out to smoke again, got another 100 new followers.
And we met one of our neighbors, like on our neighborhood Facebook page. He posted like kind of a funny post, and then somebody commented. They're like, "I just saw you on TikTok. I'm blah 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 blah," and then she said his name, and we went on there and looked at his page and stuff.
So Uncle
funny.
Birch, one word on TikTok.
Yeah.
Get over there, follow. Apparently, I'm stirring some shit up. So you gotta be really, to the point to do the 60-second thing. So
Yeah.
I gotta like piss people off in 60 seconds.
We were sitting around like yesterday or something and looking at your numbers, and I was like, that would be so cool to get to 45 by the end of Sunday. And it's like he's already at 46, and I'm like, all right, let's shoot for 50K by the end of the weekend. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Some bats and covids. Their stitches are great. They really love it when I stitch that Christian. God, I get a lot of hits on those, man. Yeah, they love it. And now somebody just directed me to several videos where she talks shit about Hecate. So, maybe after my shot or while I'm waiting in line for the shot, I'll go stitch some of those.
That'll be funny. Drive-through stitching.
Yeah, I haven't done one from the car yet.
You haven't? Oh, yeah, not a TikTok.
No, TikTok. I did a few lives from the car driving around Hollywood.
And they like your voice, apparently.
Yes.
But
I've always heard.
I'll give him that. He's got a good voice.
I've always heard I have a voice for radio.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
Hopefully Sasha's voice is going to be like that.
Of course he will.
It'll be so cute when it starts cracking and
But
stuff.
they just won't have radio then.
I know.
It'll be podcasts.
Yeah.
It'll all be podcasts.
Yeah. Sasha, you're going to have a cool voice when you grow up. Okay. Like Papa's voice.
Yes.
Don't you think Papa has a cool voice? I thought you were going to say, kind of. Remember when I asked him, do you think we're lame? And he goes, kind of.
Kevin, I've got a similar one I teach my kids. It's do good things and don't be a dick. That's the golden rule, the prime directive, if you will. Protests across U.S. call for an end to anti-Asian violence. Okay, yes, we need to do that.
Yeah. What else was I going to say today? Oh, that woman got arrested. She's a Georgia lawmaker. They were, Governor Kemp was signing the voting restrictions in his office, and she's a part of the state legislature, and she knocked on his door because she wanted to be able to witness it, and she got arrested.
I heard they charged her with 2 felonies.
Yeah, 2 felonies.
What the fuck are the felonies?
And I mean, she's gonna fight him, but I guess I'm not defending them, but apparently she was knocking, and the guards told her to stop, and she kept knocking, and they're like, "Stop or you'll get arrested," and she kept knocking. So that's how it happened. I mean, technically, knocking on somebody's door, should not be an arrestable offense, much less a felony. I mean, that's the thing. It's not a stranger who came up then started knocking. Like, she's a lawmaker.
Yeah.
And, a Democratic one, which is probably why this whole thing happened. But, yeah, I don't think she's in jail anymore. But, yeah, 2 felonies. Definitely has a lot of support. So.
Oh, that's Kevin. That's part of your name. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, we've been doing a thing like this called the Stay the Fucking Home Show on Facebook for almost a year now, since we went into
April
lockdown.
12th was the first day, so it's almost a year.
And recently we had a controversial person on who apparently pissed somebody off enough to report it enough times to where I ended up in Facebook Live jail for 28 days, I think. I think I have 6 days left.
For some reason, they set it at 29 days.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know how they determine this, but
So this is a way we found to reach around. I share it.
This is our
I share-
reach around.
I share it to Facebook. I tag all of the people that tend to come to the show on Facebook, and then they hit the link and they go, this way. So we'll probably just go back to Facebook after that, because people over here they expect me to talk about witchcraft all the time. This is one of the few times that I don't do that is the Stay the Fucking Home show. Even though everybody that comes to the show's a witch or
Yeah.
a worker, something, except for my cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember a couple of times my brother came way back in the beginning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah. Where's my, okay, so let's
My
see.
uncle could even be watching it over here. He follows my YouTube.
Yeah, he's got a lurker uncle.
A stalker.
Oh, wow. So there's the top story I just saw is citizen sleuths are tracking down insurrectionists. Yeah, a lot of people have been turned in by people they know. Like one guy, I forget which one, but one guy was turned in by an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Another guy was turned in by an ex-wife. Like, they're probably like all too happy to be like, oh, there's Billy Bob. I'm going to call the FBI.
Well, I think I saw the same story on CNN, and just the headline, didn't read the story yet, but they're talking about private citizens are using facial recognition software to track these people down. It's like, well, where the fuck do I download that? I didn't even know that was available to the general public. I kind of figured some people must have it because they always find these people and dox them. But, where can I pick me up a copy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard about this yesterday, but I didn't follow up on it. There was an oceanfront shooting in Virginia Beach last night. One of my friends was asking.
Shit, where do you take cover?
And I told you about it last night.
Yeah.
And all I heard her say was active shooter, but I didn't personally follow up on it. But today says 2 dead and at least 8 injured in shootings along Virginia Beach oceanfront.
How are you not like relaxed and having a good old time at the beach? You go like shooting up and stuff.
Well, the guy who's doing the shooting isn't relaxing on the beach.
I know, well,
The victims are relaxing
I know.
on the beach.
How do you get there and not suddenly be relaxed by the ocean air and stuff? Go, maybe I'm not going to shoot somebody today.
You know how many times that's happened?
Which part? The not
I'm
shooting
not
people?
going to shoot him. I'm sure it happens
Well, I guess
all the time.
I guess we wouldn't know
I mean,
about it.
excuse me, how many beach shootings have you heard of?
Exactly. And what do? You dig a hole? Where are you going to hide? There's no cover. I think that's what. Yeah, you start digging a
Maybe-
fucking hole.
Maybe they pick a beach that has a lot of palm trees or something.
Yeah, only go to beaches with cover. But that
Yeah.
beach didn't look like it had any cover.
I don't know. I've never seen Virginia Beach. Let me see. Oh, well, there's a. Let's see. One person was fatally shot by a police officer. That was probably the shooter, probably.
Or that cop fucked up.
Probably black. 2 people are dead. 8 people are wounded. 8 people were shot just after 11 p.m. Friday. All 8 were taken to hospitals. Conditions ranging from serious to life-threatening. One woman died of a gunshot wound on the scene. Let's see. Okay, this is weird. So one woman died of a gunshot wound, but at an earlier news conference, the police chief said the death possibly stemmed from an unrelated shooting. So she died from a gunshot wound, but apparently,
Unrelated shooting.
so there were 2 shootings there,
I don't know. She had another shooting earlier that day.
and then I mistakenly counted her as part of this.
There's definitely unanswered questions.
One officer suffered minor injuries. This is like, okay, so first of all, one of the dead might be from an unrelated shooting. Secondly, one officer suffered minor injuries because he was struck by a vehicle during the investigation. So
Man,
this is
Virginia
like,
Beach sounds like a fucking
yeah, it's
place.
like, so here's the person who died, but that wasn't the shooting. And here's a cop who got injured, but that wasn't due to the shooting. He was struck by a vehicle during
A
investigation.
different officer. Read that part. Where's that going to go?
A different officer fatally shot a man at the shooting scene. While officers were investigating, shots were fired. while officers were investigating the original shooting, shots were fired nearby. The officer confronted the man, leading to the deadly gunfire. Okay.
My
Okay.
God.
So so there was, I guess, shootings going on here, and then shootings happened here, but the person who died in here was counted for one of the dead here.
I'm assuming this is an open carry state.
The officer had been placed on administrative leave. Okay. The original shooting and the officer shooting were being investigated concurrently. We have a very chaotic incident, a very chaotic night. No suspect information was immediately available. Several people were in police custody, but their possible involvement in the shooting was still under investigation. Multiple roads were blocked off. Okay, that's it. So,
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like two things happened, and they're like, like attributing wrong numbers to the wrong shooting, I guess.
Oh my God. Virginia Beach is the off-base party center for Norfolk Navy Base, one of the largest military bases in America. Well, where were the good guys with guns?
Right?
You know, we say that, you know, I'm sure if there's military people around, they might have, you know, had guns. I assume it's an open carry state, but I don't know.
And then there's the debacle at the Suez Canal,
Oh my
which is
God.
funny because he was just teaching Sasha about that canal in social
We
studies.
just learned about canals.
And now
that
it's
was
in the
one of them.
news. But yeah, so it's this cargo ship.
The most insanely loaded cargo ship I've ever seen. I used to
Yeah,
work
it's
in the
like
Port of Long Beach.
stories high, like the amount of boxes. And so we're thinking it was probably too heavy. I don't know. I guess they don't have like legal weight limits or whatever. But it's too heavy, so it kind of
they
sunk
will
down.
now.
So now they're trying to dredge up all the like the silt and stuff around it to kind of lighten it. But if that doesn't work, they're gonna need floating cranes, which Egypt doesn't even have. That's where it is right now. So they're gonna have to import floating
Oh,
cranes.
I didn't even hear that part. Floating
Yes.
fucking cranes?
Floating cranes, which Egypt
Oh
doesn't
my
have.
God.
And then they're gonna have to like remove one box at a time until they lighten the load enough to where it can move. I think what happened was it was too heavy and it just sunk and finally got stuck in the ground.
I mean, I spent part of my job in the Port of Long Beach, in addition to all the law enforcement shit, was when a fucking ship came, I had to be there on the dock when it arrived, had to stand down the dock and watch the ship come in and see if it damaged the fucking dock. It was the most boring part of my fucking job. But I've seen fucking cargo ships. I've never seen anything. The bridge is where the captain sits, right, kids? And then he drives the boat or sails the boat. It's the bridge is here. The containers are up to here on both sides of the fucking bridge. I don't even understand how they do that. I mean, there's an extension for the bridge that comes a little bit outside the ship, and the captain will walk out there, like, you know, like when he's, you know, parking the ship and stuff like that. But that's a crazy way to have to like sail around, and the only way you can see is to run out to the edge and look, and then run out to this edge over here and look. It's just to make some more money. It's insane, and I think Marta's going to be right. I think it's too many fucking containers, and they'll probably have a weight limit now because this has caused billions of dollars.
What it's also, so it's not just this ship and all the tons of cargo, but it's blocking the way, like we saw it, the footage of it. It's like, so here's the canal, and here's the canal, and the ship is kind of like diagonally blocking. So there's like literally no way to get through the canal until the ship is moved. And so there's like hundreds of other cargo ships carrying billions of dollars of shit that can't get through either, and apparently some of them have livestock on them too.
I bet oil
It's a
prices will
mess.
go up soon. Who was that? I think it was Jen just said there was a storm that blew it sideways.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. I bet, you know, it's like you think of a big flat wall, that ship's gonna catch so much fucking wind. How do you fight that? And I always wonder, it's like, what happens out at sea? You get big fucking sea winds and the big, like, how does it not just fall over? I often think that when we used to have the cruise ships come by in the Mississippi, it's like, how does that fucking thing float? There's like a city on top of there. The roller coasters
Roller
way up
coasters
top.
on the roof part of the
Oh, a
ship.
sandstorm. Ugh. That's pretty crazy. And then the sand probably put more silt in the fucking canal. But they're losing billions of dollars, and if oil prices haven't gone up, they probably will.
And everybody's gonna, well, not
They're gonna
everybody, but
blame Biden.
the idiots are gonna blame Biden for that.
There's-
Just like they're blaming him for the rise in gas prices that, I'm sorry, since when does a president determine how much gas costs a gallon?
They just had a thing that the GOP is pushing for voter limitations in every state they control. How do we fucking live like this, people? They're trying to stop people from voting so they will win. They're still still spreading the big lie that there was voter fraud. We fucking talked about it. It was the Heritage Foundation, the
Yeah.
right-wing
Like
people
the
that Trump
Heritage
gets all his
Foundation
information
is
from.
on Trump's side, so they're
Right.
they're looking. Like they really want to find as much voter fraud as possible. And I looked on their website. It's a .org. I think it's just heritagefoundation.org. And if you look at it, they've got a section for voter fraud, and their final tally of voter fraud in the entire country was like 1,350. I don't remember the exact number, but it was 1,000 and something lower, closer to 1,000 than 2,000. And that's it. That's it. And if you take that number against all the people, the number of votes, statistically, some guy broke it down, but statistically it's like 0.0000085%, which statistically is 0%. So even with those 1,300 people, that's 0% voter fraud. And that's the best they can do. That's the place that wanted to find all the voter fraud, and that's all I have.
Well, I think well, Trump accidentally said it back when he was still the Führer. The thing that they're never supposed to say. He said, when more people vote, Republicans can never win.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know that. You probably know
What
that.
does that tell you, Sparky?
Yeah. And so now they're just in front of God and everybody trying to limit the amount of people that can vote. Since Trump let it out of the bag. And,
Which, you know,
and
like I
there's nobody
said,
rioting in
is
the
gonna lead to long life. Well, see, here we're in a red. Came from a very blue state to a very red state, and our state already makes it hard to do absentee voting because I wanted we had to register to vote. We still didn't have our Louisiana IDs. We had to like send all this paperwork to the elections department, and they allowed us to vote in November. But the state already makes it really hard. Like the only people here, like in California, they were like automatically sending people like if we were still there, we would have just gotten an absentee ballot. But and I did my part. I contacted the people in California just to let them know that whatever they sent me in the mail needs to be made invalid because I don't live in California anymore. So like I'm doing my part to fight voter fraud. Like I told them, I'm like, I'm not there. If anybody, you know, finds this ballot in my mail and tries to send it in, that's not me. So I'm trying to help with voter fraud, even though it would have like probably, you know, helped us out to have more blue votes, but I'm not gonna cheat. So I told them definitely to like nullify that. But my point is, I wanted to do absentee voting here, you know, because of COVID. I didn't want to be in a, you know, huge line with people, and they wouldn't. They're not making exceptions for COVID because it's a red state. And I looked at the requirements for absentee voting. You have to be like, you know, in a nursing home or in the military or just for whatever another reason, but that you're out of the country. In jail, I forgot what all the rules were, but COVID was not one of them. So I had to go. That was my first time out of the house in a long time, and I had like a mask, a shield, and I brought gloves.
They're doing all this shit in Georgia. It's like Georgia did 3 counts. 2 of them were hand counts. No significant voter fraud found. It's like there's no reason before this. And they still say it's like to give people faith because there was irregularities in the voting, blah, 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 blah. They keep repeating the fucking narrative that doesn't fucking exist. They counted the fucking votes fucking 3 times. And Trump kept going down, I want you to do a hand count, I want you to do a signature check. They did all that. They did all that, and they did it again, and not a fucking thing. Such a bullshit. I mean, it was just the fucking rabbit hole that we've gone down to where they can just lie enough to where people believe it. That was fucking Hitler's plan. Goebbels taught him. I never thought we'd be that stupid as a country for where that would work on us. Here we are. Trump's still not in jail. What the fuck?
And the aliens are laughing at us.
Oh God, yes.
All the Trumpers too. Like I trolled, Trump pages and stuff just to see what's going on with them, and they all of them are like, other countries are laughing at us, because of Biden. I'm like, excuse me. Countries
They
were
literally laughed at us with Trump.
It was like a mixture of laughter and crying.
Yeah.
When all the other countries, at least all the people I know who live in other countries, they feel sorry for us.
Well, I forget what it was, the G8 or what. It was one of those where all the world leaders gathered, and they literally were laughing while Trump was speaking.
Trump said some stupid thing, and they all started laughing. But it's like, nobody's laughing at us now. But I think people are relieved that we got rid
Well,
of
and there was that other thing where it was like, I think it was like English prime minister and a Canadian prime minister and some other prime ministers, and somebody had a hot mic near them or something like that, and they're just like, it was kind of like the gathering party.
They were at a party, It was like I remember Trudeau was there, so the Canadian prime minister and a couple other, heads of countries, and they made, I forgot exactly what it was, but they made some like
They were talking shit about Trump.
pretty offensive remark.
And to get a Canadian to talk shit about you, man, that's pretty bad. It
Yeah.
was the UN. Yeah, it was. And that's why Trump wanted to fucking get us, that and being Putin's bitch was why Trump wanted to get us out of the UN. They were very, very unfair to him.
Unfair.
What's this?
Sad.
Kimberly saying, my boyfriend has a lot of Republicans in his family. It's difficult to be around them.
Yeah.
I just, luckily I didn't have that in my family, but, I just,
My
Republicans in my life, just bye. Especially, after, if it hadn't been done after the 6th, they were definitely all gone then.
Yeah.
Anybody that still supports Trump is an anti-American scumbag and should be sent to Russia.
And in my family, which is I have a really tiny family anyway, but one aunt blocked me, and I blocked the other aunt.
Yeah.
and because I just.
Well,
It's
then
like,
we probably
okay,
could send back to
okay,
Russia.
it's like, okay, you like Trump, I get it, but can you please not post straight up lies? Is
Yeah.
that really too much to ask? Like, you can like him, but this is fake. And then they're like arguing with me about it and stuff. I'm just like, I can't do this. So, whatever. They still have my phone number.
Yeah. We just don't have to listen
It's
to
like,
their
what do we do
propaganda.
before Facebook?
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. And I'm not happy about it, but what are you gonna do?
Field trip?
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna field trip, man.
we're gonna go to field trip.
All right. Field trip is when we go outside and smoke. I know. Not as exciting as it seems. Hello, Azzy. Say hi to people. Whoops. Reorient my camera. No, it's not that time. We'll do that after the show. Oh, it's a lovely day. Yeah. Oh, damn it. They really have some serious music going on at the bakery today.
Yeah. We're heading back to not like, I would talk about old times, like we were really here for like a month to see the old times. So I don't even know what it's normally like here over the summer. I have no idea.
That one time was
What?
our normal.
What?
That one time, right before COVID, was normal.
Yeah, yeah.
Only look back at that.
But I'm saying we barely, like tripped around our neighborhood a little bit to get to know it, and then the French Quarter. A lot of our friends are there, so we spent some time there. But that's it. I mean, we haven't been to Algiers Point, which I want to. Like Arabi's the other way. The business district, even. I mean, I know people who think it's boring because it's got like the modern buildings and stuff, but I still want to check it out. There are a lot of rooftop bars.
Yeah.
In the central business district, and I'm all about rooftop bars, and so we would definitely have to put that on our list.
Yeah. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Apparently, there's one in our neighborhood, but I don't know. It might be like just a poser rooftop bar. Like the only ones
How do you
that
pose a roof?
no, but the idea is to see like all the skyscrapers and stuff. I'm not sure how well they
Well,
can see.
I think if you're near the river, you can see it. See it across the river.
That's true. I'll find out which one it is.
When I take the dogs down the river, you can see it all over there.
That's true. You can't see it from the river, and so I forgot what street it's on. But there is a rooftop bar somewhere around here.
There was a time when we first came here, we'd been out drinking till like 3 a.m. Barely got Marta home. She's passed out. You know, I'm drunk up my ass. I decided I need another beer.
He always needs another
So
beer.
I go to the liquor store, which is about like 5 minutes away, and I get the beer. And I'm using my GPS to get back because I don't know my way around New Orleans. I'm in a fucking French Quarter. And I just start walking. I'm going, God, I've been walking for like 20 minutes. GPS is saying keep going that way.
It's not that big.
And then I started seeing this skyline, large buildings and shit in the distance. I'm like, oh fuck, where the fuck am I? So I like turned off my GPS, rebooted my phone, turned it back on, and then sure enough, GPS told me, I go back that way for about 20 minutes. And that was one of the things that I always remembered, and it happened a couple of times after we moved here. Weird shit happens in the French Quarter. You can't trust
As
the
far as
GPS.
Wi-Fi goes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Wi-Fi and GPS, all of it. So sometimes it just trips and sends
I mean,
us the
our
wrong way.
real estate people were in the French Quarter, and we were, communicating with them from California, and they had like tried to send me some documents, that I needed to e-sign or whatever, and half the time we didn't get them. And then so I tell them we didn't get them, but they'd be like, okay, let me step out of the French Quarter and try again, and then I'd get them.
It worked for some reason. Let's see if we're listening. Yeah. I'm friends with heights. It's lovely. I don't know if I think there's a slight chance of rain today, but not much.
Yeah,
Hopefully it won't
it's
be when I'm
supposed to-
driving.
I checked yesterday. I'll check again, but I checked yesterday, and it was supposed to be 82 today, and I think yesterday was 83, so it's close. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's 82 right now. Feels like 89. See, 82. Feels like 89. I want to see how much humidity we have today. 74. Yesterday we had 93% humidity, but today it's 74.
Still sweating.
But yeah, 82. And then it gets colder. On Monday it's 68. We're gonna freeze.
Ooh, burr.
Yeah, the high is 68 on Monday.
Well, it just depends. Like it was 75 yesterday in the house. It was 75 like a week ago, and I felt cold. I was walking around with a hoodie, so it's all about the humidity. The temperature really is meaningless.
Yeah. And for me, I'm probably the only person who loves the humidity. There are a lot of people who were telling us here when we first visited, they're like, I don't mind the heat, it's the humidity. And for me, like, I don't mind the humidity, it's the heat. It's like, it can be really hot here, and as long as I have humidity, I'm totally fine. In LA, no. LA, it gets hot and it's dry, I shrivel up and I want to die somewhere.
Well, it takes years off my face, the southern Botox.
Yeah.
I mean, just a couple months ago, I probably looked like 20 years older. I'll go have to go back and look at the pictures. Here's the big fluffy dog. Hi.
Hi.
I love that little prance.
Did she say hi to you?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
cool.
I always wanted to pet you. Yes, our dog's
What's
just
her
loud
name?
and crazy.
Gracie. Hi, Gracie.
She just
How
met
does she
everybody.
do in the summer?
She gets a haircut.
Did you get there?
We have a husky mix that has a hard time, but we're not supposed to shave huskies, so he just has to deal with it.
We just gotta brush them a lot.
Yep.
Oh, this was a giant cotton ball of a dog, man. There's just so much hair. I went to pet that dog for a while.
I know.
I love it how the dogs don't even care. There was a pit bull last night, like he was not on a leash, walking around with this human, and these guys start going off. The pit bull like came over here. He was interested. He's going, what's going on over there?
And then there's another
Is there
husky
dogs?
without a leash that was walking by. The owner was right behind it, but it didn't have a leash. And our dogs didn't say shit.
Yeah.
Walked right past here. They didn't say anything.
Well, it's not like that other husky in our neighborhood, Hustler,
Hustler.
out there got outside and chasing chickens around the church parking lot. apparently. Church's parking lot. Yeah.
And he's a service dog, so he had like the time of his life. So he took pictures, like his tongue is hanging out, and he's got like the shitting grin, and he like got out to chase chickens.
Hustler for a husky. That's
Hustler.
fucking funny.
And you spell the two S's with dollar signs. HU $LA.
You should have like some bling.
You should make T-shirts.
Yeah.
Team Hustler.
Have a big dollar sign thing, way oversized.
On his collar?
Like a Flavor Flav thing.
Yeah.
Those days are gone, I guess.
What days?
Well, we don't even have rappers anymore. Now it's hip hop. But when they used to have this like crazy ass bling.
Okay, Boomer,
huge,
it's been
giant
called
things.
hip hop for a long time.
I know, but back when it was rappers, they fucking had the bling. It was important for a while there.
Yeah. But Flavor Flav stuff was always a clock.
Yeah, it was a
wasn't
clock.
a dollar sign.
Yeah. God, listen to that music.
Oh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, I never liked brass bands. I mean, I didn't hate them either. I could just, take them or leave them. I don't really care if they're there or not. But New Orleans has given me like a whole new appreciation for brass bands. I love it now. I
Yeah.
love it.
What, marching bands?
Yeah.
Or am I?
Marching bands, like in California, if you're, in the marching band, you're kind of a geek. But here, it's like a rite of passage. You like
It's an important job.
The main man on campus is like the head of the marching band.
Yeah. Well, there's Kermit, king of Treme. He plays a trumpet.
Yeah.
That's how he got to be king,
Yeah.
by playing a trumpet.
Which, as you can guess, for COVID, not a good thing if you're like blowing air out of like
Yeah.
an instrument. So that was really restricted. Like maybe like drumming or even guitar or whatever is more acceptable. But during COVID, if you're like blowing air out of an instrument,
Yeah.
not really okay. So they really got shut down for a while. But here they are, they're back.
Well, a lot of places work really hard to, support the musicians. And a lot of porch parties and distance concerts.
Yeah, I saw somebody out next door who was asking if anybody wants to donate their house so she can like do a singing gig there.
Mhm. Well, like over here, we're hearing the music at the bakery, where usually the music would be inside. Now the music's like across the street on the corner, and all the tables are out in the street. So
Yeah,
they're-
that's one thing
managed
I
to
really
do-
like about it is most places have expanded their outdoor seating.
Yeah.
And we're all about outdoor seating because we can't travel anywhere with our dogs. And so we would always look for places where we could sit outside. There were a couple places in California that let them go inside, which was cool, but mostly it's outdoor. And here they actually do, like almost every bar that I've seen lets the dogs inside. Like if they don't serve food,
Yeah.
you can totally bring your dog inside.
Yeah.
But I still prefer that outdoor seating.
And they're keeping the local musicians working.
Yeah.
There's a couple people right on our street that are often over there at the bakery get paid.
I miss those impromptu parties. They used to
Yeah, they're
have
gonna
these
be
like
having them soon.
impromptu parties at the corner, and they're like really good musicians.
Every one of them.
All of them.
I haven't seen a bad musician in New Orleans.
Well, we saw that one attempt to
Oh, yeah.
cover Purple Rain.
It was like a New Orleans blues band trying to do Purple Rain, and God, it was bad.
Their other stuff was good. This was at a restaurant in the French Quarter called BB King's, and they have live music, and the music was good until they tried that cover, and
Yeah.
I didn't like it,
Didn't work.
but it was good otherwise.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Right here a little bit. All right, field trip?
Yeah.
Field trip.
No more, Joe. No more.
Hello? Hello? What are you doing? Get back. What are you doing? What? Oops. Reorient my phone, apparently. Ooh, everybody growl. Oh, wait. What?
I can tell Mojo hasn't slurped any coffee all over the table. I'm gonna drink it.
Give me the toy. Give me the toy, damn it. All right, get it. Fetch.
So many knots.
Hey, dogs. It's not that time yet.
Oh
It's
my god, I
close.
found another dread.
Uh-oh.
Look,
Fetch.
I'm gonna spend all day brushing my hair today. And half of it's
Woo.
probably gonna come out. Oh my god, look at. See this?
Oh my goodness.
You see this?
That one's gonna take some work.
Yeah.
You guys, you're getting tangled in the wires now. Oh my god. All right, dogs are getting all uppity. It's not their time yet. It's not their time yet.
Okay,
Not their time yet.
now I have I was saying, like, I haven't been particularly depressed during COVID, but now I am, because it's causing dreadlocks, because I don't wash my hair as often as I should. Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna have to cut off chunks of my hair. Oh, shit.
All right. We should probably go. I'm gonna have to go grab Marta a brush
Yeah,
and take the dogs out, that kind of thing, because they're getting really excited. So we'll, I guess we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll be all like COVID free and stuff. I'll have my shots.
oh my god.
All right.
Dreads.
Bye, guys.
Bye.